Hi everyone, welcome you once again to Micro Learning. This is Shailaja with Class 12 Economics, Lesson number 2 National Income. Today we are going to see 2.8 to 2.8.5. So it is national income and social accounting. National income tells you the country's income, and all of us know the country's income is being calculated in the basis of so many concepts. So when we are computing national income, we are supposed to take the income from the various sectors. So in lesson number 1, we have seen regarding three sector model. That is, how does the income flow in the three sector model? That is, from the firms to household towards the government. So from the household, what goes towards the firms? It is supposed to be the factors of production. What the firms in return gives you to the household as products. What does a household pay towards the government? It is taxes. And from the government in return towards the household, it is supposed to be a social transfer that they do. So the same way from the government towards the firms. So government makes purchases as such. And what does the firm in return gives towards the government? They also levy the tax. So we know that there is a circular flow of income. So like this, we are able to take this into consideration. That is firm, household and government, etc. It is useful for economists and policy makers. By computing the national income, the economist can make an analyzation of our country's standard, whether we are growing, whether we have developed, not growing, whether we have developed. Okay, we can make a comparison with other countries and we can rank our country in positions of national income. Next one is, it helps to forecast the trends of the economy. Forecast. We can know what is going to be the future with the help of the national income. That is, what are the policies that can be framed, what are the projects that can be brought into our country. All this is being decided according to the national income. So national income and social accounting goes hand in hand. National income and social accounting. Social accounting, that is social accounting and sector. National income and welfare. National income and erosion of national wealth. Fourth one, national income in terms of US dollars. And fifth one is supposed to be social and environmental cost. So how is national income and social accounting computed together? So the first one we are going to see is social accounting and sectors. How we are going to compute the national income from the various sectors. A sector is a group of individuals and institutions having common economic transactions. Now what are the sectors that they have given? Firms, household, government, rest of the world and capital sector. We would have seen these four already in the previous chapter number 1, Introduction to Macroeconomics, and we would have seen all these terms in 4-sector model. So 4-sector model we have one addition that is called as the rest of the world. Now first you should know what is a firm. A part of an industry is called as a firm. Now how you say one classroom, that is called as classroom. When we combine all the classrooms together, we call it as a school. So a firm is supposed to be a part of the industry. It undertakes productive activities with the help of factors of production. So whatever production takes place, it is based on the factors of production. Second one is household. It consumes and represents the factors of production who receives payment from firms. Who are the households? Households sends whatever factors of production they have into the hands of the firm. Now, here households are supposed to be consumers because they supply the factors of production. So they receive the reward from the firms in return in the form of rent, in the form of wages, in the form of interest, and finally what is left over stands as a profit for a firm. The third one is supposed to be the government. Okay, what is the role of a government? Role of the government is very important because the public sector is controlled by the government, and the government works for the welfare of the society. They try to uplift the society. They look into the needs of the people. Okay, their demands, everything is being fulfilled by the government. Next is rest of the world. It refers to the international transaction of the country. So rest of the world. How are we related to the other countries? How are we related towards other countries? So it refers to international transaction. Okay, so when we export and import commodities, we get income. That is, when we export, we are able to get money from outside the country. That stands as a huge capital. Okay, so money flows into our country. So from that money, we can reinvest again. That stands as a capital for our country. Not only that, whatever individuals save, okay, and whatever individual invest in the form of income stands as a capital asset for our country. So how are we connected with the rest of the world, and what is capital sector? The rest of the world refers to international economies. Okay, like you can include the incomes that we get from export and import transactions. External loan. If we do not have money, we can borrow from rest of the world. Next is capital sector. Capital sector is nothing but what people save and what we have invested in the form of money and other forms of wealth. Okay, stands as a main capital source of our country. Not only that, the transactions done in bank, the insurance, okay, the financial houses, many private financial agencies, all these are supposed to be money market. And here we can see how the GDP is taken into consideration, because capital sector invest it. Okay, how do they invest it? Can we leave out any sector? We cannot leave out any sector, because all these sectors are very important for the economy. So with the help of the given contribution of the GDP, we can divide that into primary, secondary and tertiary sector. So the government takes the income from these various sectors, that is primary, secondary and tertiary sector, and they again reinvest into these sectors according to the capability or according to the returns that is being given by these particular sectors. Now the government sector. Government sector is nothing but the central, state and the local body. Central government, state government, local body. All these are supposed to be government sectors. What is their main work? Their main work is to take care of the people, making the people purchase goods and services at a fair prices. Then taxation, public borrowing, fiscal measures, all this is being undertaken. So the government's work is to collect the taxes. If they do not have money, in spite of having taxation, if they do not have money, they borrow and they make some fiscal measures. Now the main function of the government is, you know what it is? To take care of the people of the country, that is looking into the welfare of the country. So here we should give protection towards the people. So defense should be taken care. Public health of the people should be taken care. Education of the people should be taken care. Okay, so for all this the government is supposed to spend. The next one is national income and welfare. A country with a higher per capita income, they enjoy greater welfare. If a country's per capita income is very low, their welfare is also, that is their standard of living is supposed to be very low. So if you want to promote welfare, what is very important? National income of a country is supposed to be very important. When national income is high, naturally the per capita income will increase. Now there are some limitations always. Greater the proportion of capital goods over consumer goods leads to less welfare. If you are going to promote more of capital goods over consumer goods, okay, so concentration should be given more on consumer goods. Okay, if you are not going to do that, and if you are going to give importance only for capital goods, that's not going to promote any welfare. Second one, it tells you about environmental hazards. As we are going to invest more and more on industrial sector, we are going to face the consequences. Okay, so there is going to be an environmental issues which is going to destroy the living beings in the universe. Third one is production of war goods. That's not going to be welfare. Okay, that is expenditure. More of expenditure if we are going to spend on war goods. Fourth one says per capita income is due to and women, children and working for long hours lead to less welfare. Per capita income may sometimes increase, but there are children, women, okay, who really work for very long hours and there is no welfare at all. So therefore we can say PQLI is a better indicator of economic welfare. So it says you should have a good living standard, you should have a life expectancy and literacy. So PQLI focuses its attention on the living standard of the people. What is their standard of living? What is their income? If their income is naturally going to be high, their standard of living is also going to be very high. Next is life expectancy. If they are going to have a happy life, their life will be a little bit longer. Literacy, education has to be given more importance. So this will promote physical quality of life index. This is an internal question for you. What is PQLI? Next one is erosion of national wealth. That is national income and erosion of wealth. What do you mean erosion of wealth? Wealth being taken away, we call it as erosion of wealth. So for achieving higher GDP, if you want a greater GDP, what has to be done? The natural resources should be utilized to the greatest extent. Sometimes this utilization of resources may lead to damages also. It may hazard the environment. Okay, so in the future there will not be any growth if the resources are going to be depleted. Since it is suggested that while assessing the national income, loss of natural resources should be subtracted from the national income. So if we are going to lose more and more natural resources, that has to be subtracted from the national income, because natural resource play a very major role in the development of a country. Next one, national income in terms of US dollars. So when India's national income is always income is always here measured in terms of US dollars. So you can see the purchasing power parity looks better in India when compared to other countries, because our population is very high over here, and the purchasing power parity is much better when compared to other countries. Next one is social and environmental cost. So when we are going to produce something, what will happen? Definitely we are going to incur environmental costs. So while we are producing economic goods, we may come across many environmental and social defects. Okay, this will be a not good sign for national income, since that will be hazarding the environment, and if the environment is going to be polluted, naturally it will lead to hazardous health conditions of the workers. So social and environmental cost should be taken care while computing the national income. Now, what are the uses of national? Why do we study? What is the use of it? Okay, first one is supposed to be, you can know about the performance of a country. How far a country is performing, how far is its income. It can make a comparative study with the rest of the currencies. So when we compare with other countries, we will come to know where India actually stands, okay, in economical terms. Next one, you can plan with the national income. What are the sources of income? With the sources of income, you can plan according to it, and you can predict what is going to happen in the future. So with very good financial facilities, we can have a proper planning for the country. The next one, if there is a good national income, or there is a high national, not a good national income, when you have a very high national income, naturally your standard of living is always increased. Okay, you can make a comparison with other countries, and we can know where we are in our standard of living. Not only that, we can become a developed country also. Okay, by looking at the number of the national income. Okay, actually when we are calculating, we give it in numbers, we put it in percentages. This percentage will tell you where our country is, whether it's a developing or an underdeveloped country as such. So you have a worksheet. What is PQIL? What is capital sector? So all of us know PQLI is supposed to be physical quality of life index. What does it do? It looks into the welfare of the people, and they concentrate more on what? Their literacy. Okay, their birth, their standard of living, their literacy level is being calculated under PQLI. So those who are watching the channel for the first time, please subscribe, click on to the bell button for further notifications. Thank you.